So this message is going to be about leaven and the difference between the leaven that we are to remove from our house physically, the physical leaven, and the spiritual leaven. And I'll do it through example. I stepped into this week like every Holy Week thinking I can get through this, it's whatever. And it seems like every year it gets a little worse. It's right up there with Pentecost week, and it's rough. So I think what triggered me this week was the rabbis on TikTok, and when they start putting the materials on their cabinets and on their counters to keep the leaven away. And they start removing all this sugary, yeast-filled things out of their house. That triggered me really bad. Because I had an episode like a few years ago where I actually did that physically, and it just made the bass louder in my chest, like the boom, 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 like really, really loud. And what happens is there's like an ebb and a flow, like an ocean where there's peace, and then I've actually done a video on a meditation on this. This is where it came from. It's because during Holy Week things get really loud, like my spiritual person will just be on high alert, the part of myself that's very clearly, obviously cleaving to things. It's like being in a deep part of the ocean where things get overwhelming and I'm grabbing onto stuff, and everything I grab onto, God's like, do you see what you grabbed onto? You didn't grab onto the hand of Jesus. You didn't grab onto the truth of God, to the holy word. You went for the political stuff. You went for this YouTube channel or that person or this person. That's what you're cleaving to. That when you want comfort, you're pacifying yourself on these people and not on the truth of God. And it always helps when I listen to theology, the bass gets softer and the calm comes, the peace starts to settle in. And then when I'm not meditating on God and stuff, then the bass gets louder, and sometimes I will use that to creative energy, which I also feel guilty about because I'm not sure if the symbolism of everything I write is really good. It's probably revealing all kinds of horrible idols in my own life, which is whatever. I confess stuff openly. I am ashamed, but I just don't think I should be hiding anything, so whatever. Maybe that's the Catholic thing, where you just come out and you just confess stuff because you're just a person. But that's what I'm doing now. And oh, yes, that was the message. Even though this week I look like this image here, I finally, yesterday, the revelation came, and it made things kind of settle down in my spirit a bit when it finally was revealed. It's like the reason why the Holy Spirit deflates me this week is because there's leaven in my spirit, and that's what leaven is to the Christian. It's sin. It's the Holy Spirit trying to give you a message, and every year I'm refined more and more and more and more. And so, one year it's giving up certain types of, music that I listen to more regularly than I do now. Watching scary movies when they're not Holy Spirit inspired or based. Like there are some movies we watch, I think, that are kind of scary, but the message is the power of God. Sometimes there's good messages, even though they're kind of thrillers, not scary horror films. So, God just slowly but surely starts pushing things away, and I started getting kind of possessive, like, well, I did this, and I gave away this, and I gave that, and so, and this is the time when some old habits will creep in. I was watching a show, and people were smoking cigars, and I was like, I used to do that. I kind of want a cigar. And so, yeah, no, I'm not gonna smoke. No. And I confessed it to my husband about that because he was telling me, no, don't do that. And then wine also came creeping back in this week, where I thought, oh, I will just go get a cup of wine. This is not the week for that. No. So, yeah, man, all of a sudden when you're at your weakest, some people will be playing nonstop on your phone, and you'll be reaching for cigars and reaching for wine and reaching for all kinds of stuff. And that's God's way of saying, do you see what your center is? You think it's your natural reaction is to to call out to God, but really it's to lean more on people, or to lean more on, which I think community is a good idea. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I get heart checked this week, and I get deflated and humbled, and I'm always like, why is Holy Week so horrible? I've reported it every year since I've started doing this YouTube channel. Every year I go, it's Holy Week coming up. Oh my gosh, let's start praying about Holy Week. It's coming. This week I walked right into it thinking, I got this. So I even went back to the Catholic Church. So, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm liking it, and yeah. I'm just gonna go again too. I'm gonna keep going and see how I feel about it, and I don't know. I'm hoping that that's gonna be okay. That maybe that's a good thing. I kind of went back to. I don't know. Things are just spiritually very loud right now. So sometimes it inspires me to write. Sometimes it inspires me to do videos. But things did quiet down after last night, my soul and the bass in my soul that just pulsating, and it was the message that you're supposed to be deflated. And okay, so maybe I kind of did lash out a little bit in the spirit, just, at the fact that I felt kind of down, like I don't really want anything of this world. I'm truly not somebody who has the pride of life. I do not have the pride of life. I'm lucky because I live in a very nice side of town. I have a nice car. But I don't have the pride of life. I don't. And so that was my prayer to God, was like, I've given up so much stuff, and that was the message God gave me, was it's not about how much you give up, it's about how much you're cleaving onto Him, and how much you're depending on Him, how much of your weight is actually being supported by Him. And that is the message I got yesterday. Thought I'd share that. And my Holy Week messages are never very clean. They're just what it is, because I'm still reeling and the week is not over. It's always bad. I'm always deflated. I'm always humbled. Always. So I think that was the message. This is Linda of Christ is King Forever. May God be with you.